So we're here doing a morning session of Qigong. We're going to start by feeling where we are, grounding with our feet and our hands facing down. And we're going to start with a movement called knocking on the door of life. So with your knees at the level of your shoulder, legs slightly apart, and then we're going to rotate and we are going to let the body with that movement flow by itself. So you're going to be knocking in that part where the kidneys are. So without effort, we just rotate so the arms can let the movement get done by itself. And you are knocking on that part of the lower back. And from there, this is the kidneys are super important because it's like the main source of energy flowing. From there, we're going to go and knock a little bit on the chest. So this time you can either cup your hand or just make a slight fist, and you keep knocking. If you can notice now, the knocking at the back is still in the same place, but the knocking on the front is on this part, the chest. So just keep going. That part of the chest, which is just below the collarbone, is connected to the lungs. So we have the lungs and the kidneys. So it helps with our immune system. And now we're going to go from there to kind of tapping the top of our shoulders. So imagine you're giving yourself a pat on the shoulder. It helps with our circulation and with good decisions. That part of the shoulders is connected to the neck, so it's where we keep a lot of the stress, especially if we are sitting down and also like focusing a lot on thoughts and whatever we're doing with our heads, because the tension stays in that upper part. And then from there we go down to the chest again. Breathe in and breathe out. Always be conscious of your breath. And then again down, and the door of life only. And then slowly let the movement stop by slowing down. And then feel there should be a little bit of a tingling sensation or vibration or just feeling of warmth because we are warming up. And now we're going to do a movement that is called the tiger. So we're going to go flexible with our knees, bending a little bit down, and as far as is comfortable for you. I like to go nearly all the way down. And if you imagine you have this like tiger claws and you're going to pick up energy from the earth and you're going to get up and down. When you're moving up, you breathe in and down and up and down. The movement going down helps you to open the hips and the waist. So you go down and you are collecting energy. And when you go down with the breathing out, you flush or release that which you don't need. You go up and down. And down. And let's do one more. Up feel again. Feel how you're feeling. And now we're going to do something called the Qi massage. So we start by, in that same area of the kidneys, we're going to have a light fists and knock. We're gonna go knock up and down around the area of the kidneys. Up and down, up and down. We're massaging to wake up the system. And then from there, we're going to go with both hands, knocking all the way down at the back of the legs, around the feet, and then go up and down again. So you go down, out of the legs, and then in, up inside the legs. This helps our circulation, and then down again. Knock around the area of the chest, connecting with your heart, emotions. So you go as much as it feels comfortable, and releasing tension. Sorry about the animals. Up and down, and then we're going to do the arms. So we're going to do up on the outer part of the arm, and then down on the inner part of the arm, and then up and down, up to the neck, and down, and up, and down, and then we go to the other side. So up on the outer side of the arm, all the way to the neck, and down. This you are doing it with your cupped hand. Up and down, up and down, and down, and then you're going to shake your hands. Feel how you're feeling, and let's do a little bit more of that shaking out, so you can kind of feel like you're bouncing up and down the balls of your feet. So you shake and you breathe in, and with the breathing out you feel you are releasing any remaining tension. So we bounce and we feel the tension going out. Hands. Every time you breathe out, you release the tension. And this reminds me of my dog when he gets anxious for some reason, and after passing a scary dog or something that frightened him, he just shakes. And it's just a very wise way of releasing tension immediately, just right there and then in the moment. I also had a child I used to work with who had hearing impairment, and just naturally when he was feeling tension or when he was about to go into an exam, he would go just like, hold on a second, miss, and he would be like he just needed to shake. Very wise. I think pets and children have a lot of wisdom. So let's stop and now feel how that body is totally awake and feel the vibration. Oh, and after this waking up and shaking up, let's start with a flow. So this flow is called Buddha holding up the earth. So you're gonna have your hands slightly round, as if you were holding a ball. So Buddha holding up the earth. So it's like you're holding the earth. You're gonna do a slight bending of the knees, and your sacrum is slightly down, tucked in. And then you have your hands down and you're gonna lift them up. So with the breathing up and all the way up, and then you turn your hands to the heavens, and then you can stop a little bit there, and then when you turn them down again, you breathe out. And let's make this movement flow. So again, we breathe in, turn the hands and stop a bit. It's like when you have a little pause in the breath, and then you breathe out. And again, breathe in, stop a bit, and then down, and then again, breathe in, and down. Now it's flowing. You know the movement by now, so you just breathe in and go with your breath. Slight pause to breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And one more, breathe in, and breathe out. And now we're going to hold one hand up to heaven and one hand down to earth. And we have them there. We connect with the light above and the light below. And we are going to switch the hands, but with a slight turning, moving of the hands, so they can spiral a little bit and then they go up again. And then you can feel the stretch. It's a really beautiful stretch. So you stretch. And then they spiral again. Breathe in and breathe out. And feel the lovely stretch. That's so comforting. Stretch. Connecting with heaven and earth. And then again. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. And again, breathe in. Go at your own pace. Breathe out. Feel the stretch. Connect with heaven and earth. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Such a lovely stretch. And again, breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And last one, breathe in. And breathe out. Hands down. Notice how you're feeling. Connect with your body. And now we're going to do a movement of another flow called the fountain. So with the back of the hands down there, and slightly your knees slightly bent, again tucking of the tailbone, because when we're going to go, this is going to be a movement of the flow of the tucking in and then out and in and out. So bear that in mind. So we start with the tucking in, back of our hands, and push and up. And we're going to have the back of our hands up and out. Expand. Go to the middle and then spread the energy, and then gather it in the middle and push and expand. Back of the hands, go up onto the chest and front, expand and spread. Back of the hands up onto the chest and push forward and expand. Back of the hands, go up onto the chest, push forward and expand. And feel how you are managing your energy. Up until the chest and push forward and expand. See if you can feel anything in on your hands and fingers, and up and then a spread. And up again, back of the hands onto the chest and push forward, expand. And one more. Let's spread the energy and back of the hands onto the chest and push forward and expand. And with that energy, bring it up to the chest, and right there, imagine a whole bubble surrounding you. I like to think of golden and pink, but it can be your color that the color that comes to mind for protection. It could be silver, golden. It could be any color that for you means protection. But golden and silver cannot go wrong. So with that light surrounding you, now you're going to spread it, and you're going to open slightly your legs, and you're going to go and move to the left, and then again here you have that sphere surrounding you, and then you're going to go to the right, and every time that you are going up, you're protecting. Every time you're going down, you're releasing anything that is not yours. You go up, protect, and release what is not yours. And again, go up, surround yourself with that lovely energy bubble, and then you help yourself with the breath. So you breathe in, surround yourself with protective energy, and release any remaining bits that are not yours. We always, when we are talking to people, connecting with people, or watching something online, reading, listening, we tend to pick up, even if it's a little tiny, teeny part of that energy stays with us, especially if it was not very pleasant. So let's make a commitment to ourselves to not keep any energy that is not ours and that doesn't go with our own vibration. And consciously we're going to release it. And consciously we can prepare every day in the morning with a protection shield. So if we have encounters that are not very pleasant, at least we know that we are protected to our best ability. So we protect and we release. And it's going to be sometimes difficult not to come across something that is not pleasant, which, you know, that is what is part of life. You know, black and white, good and bad. And it's not a problem. That's why we have Qigong. So protect and release. This is an excellent movement to do in the mornings, especially if you know you're going to go to very busy places, or when coming back from a busy place and you want to just leave the energy before getting into your home, or when you're just getting into your home and just releasing it, so that the earth can recycle anything that is not meant to be with you, and turn it and transforming it into something good again, just like compost. We put the remaining bits that are not meant to be nutritious for us, but that are actually nutritious for the earth. We're transforming them into good energy again. And we do the last one here in the middle. One more. And one more. Now, I want you to imagine that bubble of energy. We have been building up energy, energizing our bodies. And now with this ball of energy, just you can go again back to shoulder apart. And then we're going to feel that ball of energy. It's there in the middle. Let's hold that ball in the middle. And we were playing with that energy. And now we're going to center it. So we go up with our right hand all the way up and down. This is to center that energy. And then up, breathing up, breathing in when you go up, and breathing out when you go down. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. You're just keeping your energy. If you notice, the breathing out sometimes is with the mouth and sometimes it's through the nose. Through the mouth is mainly when you are releasing, but right now we want to keep our energy and store it right there in the middle. So we're just breathing in and out through the nose, keeping it in. One more. And feel that energy right there in your lower dantian. Bring your legs together, feet together, and let's do the bamboo in the wind. So your knees are flexible and you let the energy move wherever it needs to move. And just like a bamboo in the wind, you will always go back to the center, because now you are completely rooted and grounded and strong and ready for your day. And with that, we finished our session for the morning, and I hope that was as delightful as it was for me to present it for you. See you next time.